Are we on?
We're on.
Hello, lovelies, and
Hello,
welcome
beautiful
back to Mama G Gear and our shenanigans.
Yes, we're outside.
It's gorgeous.
It's nice out finally.
Yes, I mean it's in the 60s.
Yeah.
And most of the snow is melted.
Mostly. Actually, I don't see any snow in my backyard.
Yeah, there was only that one pile last time we filmed, but on the walk here there was a couple areas that still had snow.
They don't get sun all the time down there.
There's the top of the head. I'm sitting tall.
So we're kind of winging it here, but I wanted to talk about perception and things.
First, I'm going to show you my shirt.
I made her that shirt.
Yeah,
I'm proud of it.
Such a great job. Sorry about the.
Speaking of shirt,
I'll
this
do
is
this,
not
droopy
a
boobies.
Chick-fil-A shirt. We
Yeah.
don't support them.
We'll say chick instead of the other word.
This
filet.
is Love Drafts.
Yeah.
A really cool bar and
Is that in Philly?
Harrisburg. But it's like got a bar, restaurant
Harrisburg,
thing, and then
Pennsylvania.
a bar music
USA.
playing thing. And if you're anywhere near it, visit it. It's fantastic.
Definitely. Yeah.
Especially if you love equality, because if there's ever a place that's super equality driven,
Yes.
it is them. Hence the we are open on Sundays, Chick-fil-A looking shirt.
Right.
Because they love all the people here.
They're not open on Sunday.
And my good buddy does a lot of stuff there and plays there.
Yes.
Hopefully I can see him with the next album release.
That'd be
A
awesome.
four-letter word. But anyway, so perception. Here is
Perception.
something we do with perception. Did you know most of the time Mama G and I are not sitting directly in line with each other?
Oh, there you go.
Want to know why? I'm a lot bigger than Mama G.
Yes.
It's a tiny little thing.
On the couch, I think we notice it more.
You notice it more on the
Yeah.
couch. Whereas if I move back a little
she
bit,
usually sits back because I'm tiny, and
she's tiny.
I
I got
did-
all this.
well, I
being
also
round and
brought up
big.
in a video that I haven't posted yet about, and I'm being honest about the fact that I don't eat. It's you know, and we'll get into. We're going to talk about mental illnesses at some point. I know I'm going
Yes.
off another subject, but we don't even know. We had nothing planned really, but.
I already perceived that you would not stay in line with topic. So my
That's-
perception was accurate.
So did everybody else. Everybody has ESPN. They knew we were going to drift off into La La Land with that one. But yeah, just mental illnesses, eating disorders and such. But we're going to stay on the positive side of those. We're not going to talk about negativities, and we're not going to get into a lot of the...
We are not professionals.
yeah, I never got the
We are
license.
just humans.
Helping humans.
Helping humans.
Yeah, that's all.
With things we all deal
friend
with.
to friend. And so many people have so much going on. And people that, and we'll probably touch on this more when we do the actual video, but a lot of people that normally wouldn't per se admit or say or feel that they have the stressors and sadness and anxiety normally these days now are actually experiencing it as well, on and beyond. And so it's expedited those of us who do have anxieties and sadnesses and depressive thoughts and negativity. So
I think we're becoming more open to it. Like, not that gender roles should matter in anything, but like the whole concept of like men shouldn't cry. Like
that's terrible.
That's a horrible
Of course,
thing that we did.
crying
Like,
is
yeah, emotions
so
are very
awesome.
important. I always joke about the fact that I'm a soulless being, but I do actually have
She
emotions.
does cry.
I do cry, especially when I start to think about things like people not being accepted by their parents because they
Yeah.
want to live the way that they are. You know, things like that really hurts my soul. And sometimes I read these stories of people being accepted. Like there was a entry, and it was basically like a person was like, I'm going to share this journal entry with you, even though it's very personal because it's very important. And she went to her mom, and I'm saying she, born male, identify female, went to her mom and said, Mom, I think I'm a female. And her mom said, I know, darling.
Oh.
And like gave her a hug. And that was it. It wasn't a big deal.
That's the way
It
it
was
should
like,
be.
okay, like, we'll use she. Cool.
Yeah.
She now, they now, whatever you want, we'll use it. And I actually also just recently had a friend, so you've seen some of my favorite ladies in our videos, and
the birthday party, I think.
at the birthday party, and they overheard the kids. Ash had friends over, and they overheard them talking, and it was like, oh, your mom uses your preferred pronouns, like without an issue. She doesn't use your dead name and things like that. And it was such a eye-opening thing because that's like local. That's like right here. That's people that
we're in a weird
go into
town.
their home and their parents will be like, well, I'm not calling you that, as opposed to...
It's a gun-toting, hunting, what kind of area that we live in. So it's unusual for us to actually be thrown in this environment. Oh, one dog almost choked the other dog.
Clotheslining.
The puppers are out.
Yeah, we got off perception a little bit here, which is fine because we perceived we weren't going to stay on it.
Yeah.
But,
well, there's a perception there is just because someone is born, it's different than the perception that we were going to talk about.
Yes, but still valid.
But still valid is you're born with things, but they aren't right. I mean, there's abnormalities all the time. People
My favorite way to describe it.
I love this. I know
is a can.
I know what you're going to say.
And the can is labeled green beans. And when you open the can, it's carrots. Just because the can is labeled green beans doesn't change the fact that it's actually carrots.
It's carrots. They're
you
not
can
green
put
beans.
any label you want on it.
Right.
It's not going to change the fact that they're
What's
carrots.
What's inside.
So if you were born and inside of you is carrots and everything on the outside of you says green bean, that doesn't change anything. You're carrots, and that matters. And I think it's important to understand that concept. Some of us were fortunate enough to either be accepted or just be born into a body we're comfortable in or skin we're comfortable in. But you know what? Most people aren't. And it doesn't even have to be gender notice. Like for me, I had a lot of like weight thought issues growing up and things. And not that I was ever really heavy, but I'm a more boned person. Like I've got hips, I got things,
I don't.
And I feel better with ink. The more I tattoo this arm, which here's my newest,
That's
my
right.
Kitsune.
We did
my
do
Fox
a
of Nine
short
Tails.
of her getting that done.
But the more I look down and this is my skin, the more beautiful in myself I feel in it.
That's
because in my soul, I am an alien pizza witch. Let's face it. Like I'd like to have
alien pizza witch is what she said. Just
that is what I said.
In case you're like, what did she just say?
Alien pizza witch.
Yeah, you don't have to rewind a few times to figure that one out.
But yeah, it looks better. I feel better.
And you feel better.
It's just me.
And as a parent, I was quite reluctant, not just a little reluctant, about some of her choices of tattoos or even just the tattoos themselves. We did mention one time about her wanting to do one on her face, but we're not going to get into that. And I had to give up that as a parent. We're really going all over the gamut on all these topics, but this is okay. We're going to do this one. And as a parent, I had to let her make her choices because it's her life, her body. I could throw a suggestion and say, well, this or that or whatever, in my opinion. But it's really...
Without being me, you can't know what would make me feel more me.
Right, and you were 11 or 12 when she decided she wanted a tattoo. At that age, she was adamant about getting a tattoo.
I still haven't gotten the dragon. I have the image in my head.
Yeah, she wanted a dragon tattoo, and of course at 12 you can't get that. And then as she got older, she didn't let it go. She continually said, I want this tattoo, I want... Then we talked about a scorpion because she was a Scorpio, if you haven't figured that out by her personality, anybody of you that knows about astrology. But then she wanted a Scorpio and yada yada. And then when she was at the age to be able to actually almost legally get one, I said, look, whatever you do, don't just pick, flash. There's so many talented people. Her surrogate sister is a phenomenal artist. She did the drawing for my crow, and that was just like zoom. Have it be an original piece of artwork that you're having put on your body. Yes. And then it was years later.
I didn't find an artist that I wanted.
Yeah. So she waited.
And also I didn't want to go get something cheap. I wanted to put money towards getting a decent tattoo. And I waited and I did. And then my first tattoo was great. It's a beautiful owl. You'll see it at some point.
Exactly.
But then I just started getting more. And like you were saying, like you had to relinquish
my control, my desire for control over her life.
Yes. Because to you, it might be silly to have a pizza tomahawk with bacon feathers in a crust handle. But I actually love that tattoo. And
She
it
loves
was
that tattoo.
one of my
Well, it
big
has a
moments
lot
with
of
Craig.
sentimental value in her life of events.
But yeah, so
to do that,
tying it back in a little bit here. So,
well, can I just, as a parent, if you have younger kids or even grandkids, our job as parents is to raise our children to be independent from us. They should not be dependent on us. So our job as a parent is to nurture who they are, to make their choices, their decisions, problem solve their issues so they could become independent. And I don't think a lot of parents get that.
It's hard to explain, and by no means are we ever being belittling to anyone that's having a hard time with it, because it's hard to, I don't have kids, but it's hard to like let go of that. It's hard to, you don't want to see them fail, you don't want to see them hurt, you don't want to see all these things, but that's part of life.
You don't, but that is a part of life, and all you could do is give them the tools when those things are going to happen, whether you have, as a parent, you have really not much control over a lot of those things that happen. And as a parent, what's better is, instead of protecting, and I know that we definitely protect our children, I'm not in that respect, but from little incidents like bullying, small bullying, but smaller disappointments that children need to experience, our job should be to give them the tools
instead of jumping
to be able to handle that.
Let's just say bullying. Instead of jumping in and just handling it, giving me the tools to understand
be able to,
that person's probably bullied at home.
That's what
You need to be strong. You are
be
a
kinder
strong,
to
solid,
that person,
wonderful
perhaps,
human. Like, they're not bullying you because of anything. A lot of times bullies bully.
Not personal.
Like, I got bullied a lot, but there was a lot of people that were just jealous that I've kind of always just done me.
Yeah, always.
Like, I don't care
and
what other people like. In my video with my separating of the hair, I always make the joke, like, I don't see the back of my head.
It's
your problem if you don't like it.
I only see the front.
Like, the front of my hair always looks great. I don't know what's going on back there. It doesn't matter.
And you'd be walking away from them anyway, so who knows? Who cares?
But I think tying it all in, it's kind of important to understand that to be accepting of people for who they want to be. Understanding that while you might not want a teardrop tattoo on your face, somebody else might. Your funeral.
At my funeral, she's going to get that tattoo. Yes. Literally.
I made a promise I want to tattoo my face. She forgot to mention.
I didn't. I know. I regret so terribly that I didn't include the neck.
It's going to look great.
But it's her neck.
Yeah.
It's not mine.
But being accepting other people. Understand that even if someone looks like green beans, they might be carrots.
And also,
I love them for those carrots.
Also guidance. That, guide one another. Definitely intervene if it's anything that's dangerous or very
obviously
hurtful.
When we're talking about things, there is extremes.
We're talking about simplistic as far as like what I was saying about let the kid fall down, and as long as they're not going to fall into a pit and get hurt.
Here's a nice one I liked with letting kids learn lessons on their own. That was a pretty simple one. Friend's kid, this going way back too. Friend's kid, giant tub, stick pretzels, the long ones, the rods.
Oh yeah.
There was only a few left. We were all snacking on them, so now we're at the empty thing with just salt on the bottom. And the kid wanted to eat it.
That would be me.
And the mom said, "Well, it's going to be awful, and you're going to regret it, but if you would like to, go ahead." Kid eats it. Kid immediately regrets it.
Yeah.
I pick up a water bottle. I'm like, "Hey, bud." Like, so it was a very simple life lesson that...
Oh my God, you just brought a memory.
She could have jumped in and said, no, 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 yelled and all this. And you know what that would have done? Just made her want to eat the salt more. But
and
instead,
kids,
she
a lot
learned.
of stuff just goes in and out their ears. Actually, my grandpa did that to me. I was about 10 years old and my father smoked. And it didn't have the effect that he had hoped because I ended up becoming a smoker. But when I was about 10, he allowed me to take a drag of one of his, was smoking non-filter Camels, and I took a hit of that, and dear lordy, I probably drank about a half a gallon of whole milk right after, because I was like, oh my God, how could you do that? But it didn't have the desired effect because I did start smoking.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to
No, but I'm just saying, but I did learn a lesson at that point. I just must have forgotten it when I was 13.
But yeah, definitely accepting people for who they are. Understand we all see the world through different eyes.
Right.
Some people like to be covered in tattoo and have multicolored hair, and that's fine. Some people want to wear nice suits, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Some people want to spend a ton of money on a pocketbook. That's fine. That's what they want to do.
Exactly.
I spend money on ink and meats that I get to eat.
Yeah.
Or fun toys are my treat yourself artwork purchases. That's
I think
what
a lot
like
of it has to do with a lot of it has to do with that we compare ourselves to each other, which is something else that we don't need to do. You know, you don't have to compare, because if you compare what you have and who you are and what you look like to other people,
if a fish judged itself by its ability to fly, it would live its life feeling like an idiot. I forget who says that.
Yeah, that's
Of
probably
course,
an
flying
anonymous.
fish happens, but
Well, that's they only for short.
I keep
hot
looking at there's an
second.
eagle soaring that's looking.
Oh
for
yeah, he
something.
was outside my house yesterday. I was trying to get him. Yeah, the
But
eagles.
yeah,
We have
definitely
those.
perceptions, definitely understanding
Yeah.
people,
We're in there.
and there's an eagle and a crow, and very much don't force your ways on other people. Let them live their ways. If no one's
Yeah.
hurting anyone else, then
And
that's
expect
fine.
that for yourself. If somebody starts intruding on your,
And just because I like to say it
yourself.
really doesn't matter what's between someone's legs. Like genitals
It really
shouldn't
doesn't.
be a thing we even
yeah.
worry about.
yeah, it should
Put
be a
that out there.
non-issue. It should be it should totally be a
non-issue.
non-issue. Yes.
We'll stop here.
Anyway, on that note,
Not Chick-fil-A.
on the genital note, we'll end this. Hey, love you. Bye.